I am live. Oh my God, it's my first live since I came back from California. And that we actually went all the way to California. Camilo and I were there of service, to be of service as volunteers for an event that changed our own lives. And so we go back as much as we can. So what did I learn at the Enlightening Warrior Training Camp? It is such an amazing camp. This camp is actually held by the company Success Resources of America. They're the biggest self-development company here in the United States. They also host events for Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, all the huge big names. But the camp was actually created by one of my mentors and one person that I admire so much. His name is T. Harv Eker. You've probably heard me talk about him a few times because a lot of the things that I've learned about business and about, personal development have been from T. Harv Eker. So you've probably heard me talk about him a few times. He's absolutely amazing, and he created this camp. And there's another camp called the Wizard Camp. He also created it. It's kind of like a sister camp to the Warrior Camp. And basically, Warrior Camp, like I was saying, is 5 days of activities. They have rotations. They have lessons that they learn from a trainer on the stage in a room. And it's just an amazing camp. A lot of the participants that come into this camp, they don't even know what they signed up for. They just know they're going to have an amazing experience and that they're going to be completely transformed after this experience. They know it's going to be tough. They know it's going to get physical, but they have no idea what is going to actually happen in this camp. And so to me, these people are absolutely heroes, and they're absolutely, so courageous to step into a camp without even knowing what's going on. And they do sign at the beginning a one of those forms to say that if they get hurt, a disclosure, if they get hurt, it's on them. It's not on Success Resources. So yeah, I mean, things can happen, and they're on their own. So it's pretty amazing. That's what Warrior Camp that's what it is. But there were 3 things that really stuck out for me this time around. I've been to Warrior Camp. I did it once, and then I actually have volunteered for it twice now. The first time, it was right before I got pregnant with baby Mia. And this is the first time we've been back since having our baby, who is now 2. She's not a baby anymore, but I still call her my baby. And it's the first time we actually travel 5 days away, the other side of the country without her. We left her with grandma. So just in that was a whole experience and a whole, huge challenge. If you're watching this, I want to know you're watching. Please give me a like, give me a heart. Tell me something in the comments. Let me know where you're coming from. I want to know where you guys are coming in from. And this live is not about real estate, but it has to do a lot about what I learned at Warrior Camp and why it is important. It's important that we all connect. And that is the number one thing, the first thing I'm going to talk about that I learned in Warrior Camp. Warrior Camp is about moving along in spite of obstacles, moving along in spite of fear, or whatever story you've told yourself over and over of why you cannot make or do certain things, right? This is the story that we tell ourselves. This is the story that we believe to be true, and so it manifests in our life as true. What would happen if we change that chip, if we actually went back to zero, throw away all of those files that have not been serving us, and start at a blank canvas? What would happen if we actually moved along in spite of fear? That is exactly what Warrior Camp is all about. But the number one thing that became very clear to me during that week is that the number one thing that keeps us from getting to those goals, or keeps us from acting in spite of fear, or in spite of our beliefs, our excuses of why we can't do things, is that we long so much for connection. We long for acceptance. And a lot of times, it's not even acceptance and connection with others, but acceptance and connections within ourselves. We are in an era, the era that we're the most disconnected from one's self than ever. And that's because we make sure that we see other people's stories unraveling in front of our eyes through social media, which is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with, checking out people on social media. What becomes a problem is when you believe these stories that they should be your story. Each and every single one of us, actually, we have a different path, a different story, a different process, a different situation, a different life, a different path that we each need to encounter. So the problem becomes when we are trying to do that connection and when we're trying to accept ourselves, it's disconnected because we are not really understanding that what's going on for other people is not going to affect my reality, and it's not going to necessarily be my reality. And so then we start to battle against that, and that's the real problem. The most important thing is to stay connected and accept your own self. You've got to stay connected within yourself so that you can connect with others, because only when we know oneself, that's when we can really show up, authentically. And when you show up authentically, that's when you start to connect and accept others for who they are, because you've accepted yourself already. So that's the number one thing that I learned at Enlightening Warrior Camp. Even though it is a camp that it's all about, powering through and going through the finish line and not stopping right before you look at this finish line, because what happens is a lot of people stop right before they're actually going to get to that finish line, right? Well, warriors, enlightened warriors, we don't even stop at the finish line. We go through the finish line and we finish shit up like nobody's ever seen before. So it's more than that. It's about connection and self-approval, and it's about conquering oneself. I mean, that is just so powerful in it. And the more that I stood in that room and I heard the trainer, even though this has been things that I've heard before, it just resonated with me so much. The battle of approving me, of approving myself in everything that I do. So the battle of stop trying to please other people and stop trying to be the person that I think other people are going to love and like. How about being myself and allowing people to love me for who I am? That was huge. That was huge for me this time around. To care about others, because we're human beings, right? And we care about other people. And it's absolutely amazing to have emotions and feelings about other people and to care about other people. But I don't have to care about their opinions or what they think of me. I can be nice, and I can be caring, and I can help them out, and I can do all of these things. But that doesn't mean I need to care about their opinion and what they think of me, because people's thoughts about you, people's thoughts about me have a lot more to do about themselves than about me. When we go to networking events, when we go to parties that maybe we don't know a lot of people, we're always so concerned about what other people will think about me and what's the best way to approach them. And am I even gonna have a connection with them? But guess what the other people are thinking about? They're thinking the same exact thing. We are so involved into thinking, are others gonna like me, that we don't even see the person across from us. So people's thoughts about you have a lot more to do about them than they have about you. They'll pinpoint the things that they don't like about you because those are the things that they don't like about themselves. On the other hand, it happens the same way on the opposite side. They'll pinpoint and tell you things that they love about you, because a lot of the times those are the things that they are powerful in. Those are the things that they love about themselves. So others people's opinions of you are none of your business and do not have anything to do with your self-approval or with the person that you truly are inside. Lastly, don't take anything personal. Anything that has to do with other people talking to you, maybe coming out at you, again, it has to do with their own selves. Don't take anything personal and keep on going in your own way. Okay, so number 2, the second thing that I learned at Warrior Training Camp is the voice inside my head is not always real. It's not always true. Oh my God, what? Are you telling me that every time that I'm thinking unsupported beliefs, they're not true? Are you telling me that I'm able to do things that I've told myself over and over again that I cannot do? I am able to do them, and not only can I do them, but I can do them at an amazing way that it's all my own. The voice in your mind is not always right. You can always tell it, thank you for sharing, and move on with your life. And move on with that thing that you really want to do, that your voice might be telling you that you should not be doing. Remember, your mind, your voice, your ego is trying to keep you safe in what you already know. But guess what? Success, the goals that you want, the things that you want are right after that line of the uncertain, of what is fearful to us, of what is not comfortable, outside that comfort line. And so your mind will try to keep you in that comfort line, but that's when you have to say, thank you for sharing, move on into that fear, move on into that uncomfortableness. I don't know if that's how you say that word, but you know what I mean. All right, so thank you for sharing. The key is to quiet your mind and make it say and sound and do things that are supportive and not unsupportive. That is the key. Number 3, even though warriors, we roughing it out, we're strong. We are strong. We get through the finish line. We get shit done. We commit to things and we make them happen, whatever it takes. Warrior Camp ultimately, and I asked Camilo, baby, what do you think the message, like the one message for Warrior Camp is? What do you think? He's done it with me 3 times as well. He did it the first time himself as a participant, and then we volunteered twice already. So we've heard this thing 3 times already. And I'm like, this is the first time that I ever see it this way, because I'm in a different place in my life. And so I see things differently now. And that's why, I go to events that I really love more than once at different times of my life, because every time I need to hear a different message for what's going on in my life at that moment. So I asked Camilo, I'm like, what do you think is like the main idea of Warrior Camp? And he says that he nails it on the head. He's like, it's love. That's what it's about. I'm like, wow. He always gets things a lot faster than I do. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Enlightened Warrior Camp is all about love. It's about loving yourself. It's about conquering yourself. But it's about loving others exactly how they are, not how we would wish them to be, not how we think our what we picture perfect people to be. We have and we should be loving our family. I know there's family members sometimes that are crazy and we're just like, ugh, why can't you be more like this? Or why can't you be more like that? Or why da 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 da? No, you've got to love them just the way they are, because they're in your life for a reason and they're the way they are for a reason. And again, don't put your judgments on them. They're the way they are. It's your problem if you like them or not. It's your problem if you see something wrong with them. And remember that if you see something wrong with them, most likely what you see wrong about them has to do more about you than about them. So look into that. Why does this bother me so much? Right? So it's all about love. It's about loving yourself unconditionally in the moment that you are in right now. It's about being happy in the moment, in the present that you are right now, and loving others exactly how they are in your life, because everything is perfect in your life. And it is up to you to be able to make it to that goal or that next step that you have so much been waiting to do. So guys, I know today it was not about real estate at all, and I'm sorry about that, but then again, I'm not sorry, because I think these 3 lessons are incredibly important for anybody who's pursuing real estate, but anybody in the world that lives in the world and just because, just because, these are things that we really, if more people understood these concepts, and if we would do things more out of love instead of greed, or instead of simply trying to achieve goals, or, instead of obsessing about results, but everything would be just more focused on love, I think we would be living in a much different world. And it is up to us to change the world, one person at a time, starting with the one right in front of you in your reflection, or starting with the one that is sitting on your seat, right? So that's it for today, guys. Just a quick recap of what I learned as a volunteer at Enlightening Warrior Training Camp. For some reason this time, I just felt so much connection, especially with the other crew members, with everyone around me, with the participants. It was just something amazing that happened over there, and I wanted to share with you. Okay, guys, have an amazing rest of your Wednesday, and I'll talk to you very soon. If you have any questions regarding the Enlightened Warrior Training Camp, or about real estate, or about finding you a new home here in Broward County, I'm your girl. Talk to me first, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.